So 52 days after it ended, Gary, we're back to it again, mate. First pre-season friendly game away at Highworth, a 1-1 draw. Talk us through that for us, mate.
Yeah, really pleased. Like, really worthwhile exercise for us. Predominantly made up of the 23s and some of the 19s. But yeah, really worthwhile exercise. Thought, like I say, a couple in there of really giving us some food for thought in the upcoming games.
Obviously, you've dipped into the 23s at the most famously at the back of last season. Bringing in the likes of Ola, bringing in Kane, bringing in Razak. He was obviously here at the start. He's come on and made quite a big impact tonight, hasn't he? Razak, he's come on and scored the equalising goal right at the death. It seemed like sort of preeminently our 23s looked like they were the standouts on the pitch tonight. Yeah,
like I said, some really good performances, but I'm probably going to get laughed at by the lads who were on the bench and the coaching staff. But I was most impressed with Ethan Witchell. He's only 17. I thought he was outstanding at left back. Given, like I say, to come into this in a competitive scenario, I was really impressed. And like I said, he's given us some real food for thought as well, amongst others. Raz was, I thought, again outstanding. He did really well, and I could go on, for a couple others. Overall, like you said, really useful exercise. I don't think many of you will get laughed at for noting Ethan's performance in the first half, particularly down that left-hand side. He was, along with Dan Ware, causing a world of problems. Obviously, Ethan was quite preeminent in the pre-season games last year. I believe 2 assists against Cirencester, so one that we've certainly got our eye on for the future. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, really impressed. Like I said, I thought defensively he was sound, and as I said, for one so young, I thought he showed not necessarily using a cliche maturity beyond his years, but I thought actually, going forward and defensively he was really good. He'll face tougher tests, but yeah, as I said, overall he and some others really, as I said, performed over and above.
So for yourself and Matt, Gary, obviously it's broken on the socials now that the squad from last season, the majority of those have been retained. It's all sort of slowly coming together for you. 4 new signings. Matt and Eddie Jones have come in. Parker's come in. Tom Mayhew's re-signed on a permanent from Bristol Rovers. Are you happy with where your squad is at the moment, Gary? Have you still got your eyes on a lot more?
Yeah, happy. Like I said, the key thing for us was trying to retain the bulk of what we had last year. I think that gives us a good basis to build on. Clearly, we're looking to add to it, and we have in a couple of areas. I think that sort of not necessarily makes us stronger. But it gives us something to work with, and we're definitely, like I said, looking and having conversations with a couple of others to try and improve us further. So, like I said, that'll continue all through pre-season. We've been unsuccessful with a few, successful with a couple of others, and like I said, we're still looking at a couple at the moment.
Obviously the fixtures have come out today. It's familiar stomping ground for you for your first game of the season. Travel away to Ebbsfleet, a place you've become quite familiar with. I think only been in charge at Chippenham now, I think 7 games, and 2 of them have been at Ebbsfleet. One good result, one unfortunately just fell a little bit short in the playoff semi-final. Thoughts ahead of going back towards Ebbsfleet. It's probably the most difficult place to go in the National League South, and you've got it first time up.
Yeah, and I think you could make a case for it being a good time or a bad time. First game of the season, do you want to go to one of the favourites in the league? Probably not. But you might catch them before they hit their swing. But you could argue, do you want to get one of the sides that have maybe come up from last year, because potentially you might suggest they're weaker, but again I don't agree with that necessarily, that all the sides that have come up will have strengthened, and not only will they have strengthened, they'd have come up with a load of momentum from last year as well. So you can make a case for anybody. You'll hear every manager say it this year. There's no easy games in this league, so it doesn't matter. You've got to play everybody. So yeah, first game, last game, it really makes no difference. Ebbsfleet's going to be a tough place to go any day.
And finally, Gary, next up on your pre-season schedule is a home game on the Tuesday next week against Bristol Rovers. Tonight, obviously, has been made up of quite a large amount of the 23s, the 19s, and a few trialists. We're going to start seeing some of the boys that have now started to commit to the next season, back sort of integrated within the side for that game. Obviously, Bristol Rovers, big club, big area. Obviously, we're going to want to give a good crack to them and give a good account of what Chippenham can do.
Yeah, certainly. We'd expect to, like I said, because we'd had a later finish to the season, we wanted to give the boys enough rest, so we felt we had a good balance of games still left, and sessions that we wanted to get into them, so we wanted to get them conditioned right first of all before we sort of brought them in too early. So again, yeah, this was a useful exercise tonight to sort of count people in. But yeah, the bulk of the first team that we retained from last year and the new boys will be involved in that one, as will some of those from tonight.
Super. Well, Gary, a 1-1 draw in your first game against Highworth here in pre-season. It's an unbeaten start. Let's see how long we can keep it going for. Well done, Gal.
Thanks.
Cheers.